Hey, I'm Scott with CYM Media, and welcome to Tea for Two, the show that serves up a refreshing blend of insights and inspiration from the minds of creative individuals, entrepreneurs, and trailblazers in the business world. Join us as we embark on a journey of discovery, exploring the stories behind their unique ventures, strategies, and innovative approaches. Each episode, we're going to sit down with individuals who have forged their own path, defying conventions, and carved out their own success. This is Tea for Two, where we pour out the stories of those who dare to do things a little bit differently in business. Of course, this is the inaugural episode of Tea for Two. I'm Scott with CYM Media, and I am here today with my good friend Agustin. And Agustin is a local entrepreneur and businessman. He runs EndlessMining. We'll talk about that, but he's also a good friend. And he's one of the people who pushed me to get going on this. So I said, that means you got to be guest number one.
Love it.
And so here we are. So Tea for Two, the way we're going to start off every episode, we'll call it our icebreaker, is everybody gets to choose a just iced tea flavor, and we'll talk about which flavor you chose and why you chose it. So you chose the peach oolong tea. What made you go peach oolong today?
I'm comfortable with peach.
Yeah.
I like my peaches.
Yeah.
I'm a peach guy.
Okay.
I would say if it's that or other oranges, and that one over there, I don't know. I haven't tasted it. I would love to one day. But
Sure, we'll have to have you back for another episode, and you get another bottle of tea.
There we go.
So I went with the berry hibiscus herbal. Gotta love a good herbal tea. And this one's caffeine free. I'm not sure if they're all caffeine free. We're not sponsored by Just Iced Tea, but they are a good friend. They're down the street here in Maryland.
Actually, down the street?
Yeah, actually down the street. And so we said, you know what? If we're gonna do something that involves tea, we're gonna make sure we support a local company. So. Which actually kind of ties into, one of the main themes that I wanted to talk to you about, which is, that whole idea of local. So, you're a young guy, but you're in business for yourself. You immediately said, I'm gonna go chart a path. Your business happens to be cryptocurrency, which is, some maybe of a touchy subject for some people, but obviously in our world, we're both involved with this. Tell me a bit how you got your start and kind of what drove you to say, you know what, this is what I'm going to do.
Great question, Scott. So I'm a gamer. Okay, I've always been a gamer since I started gaming with my cousins. I used to watch them play video games, Warcraft 3. I used to watch them play CSGO, and I didn't have a computer when I was a kid. So then I asked my mom, "Hey, Mom, can you please, get me a computer?" And after she got me that computer, that's when it all started. I started playing with my cousins. I think I might have been like maybe 10 or 11 or 12. I don't remember the exact time frame, but she got me a computer and I started playing a game called MU. It's a very well-known game back in my country and in South America. It's basically kind of like a mobile game, kind of like you build your own character really more than anything. And anyways, yeah. So I just started gaming, and gaming led onto computers. And I started building my own computers, right? I was building my own computers when I was younger, and I really grew an interest in it. Computers leads to GPUs, okay? And then in 2019, I started hearing about crypto mining. I think I might have saw a Red Panda mining video, and I said, well, let me try this out. Mining chambers video. That was, I think, the first guy who I saw about crypto mining. Yeah. And he was building a rig, and I was like, fuck it. Let me give it a shot. Let me see if I can do it. And I went ahead, and I built my first GPU in I think it was December of 2019. I remember I built the rig in November, and then I had to go to Uruguay, and I left it running. at home, and it was very profitable at that time. It was
Yeah.
it was pretty profitable. But yeah, that got me into the GPU game. You know, I enjoyed quite a bit of profits there with GPU mining, RP Ethereum. Um,
Well, it's still with us. It's just we can't make any
RIP
money off of it
Ethereum.
anymore.
Cut it out. Cut it
Yes,
out.
that's true. That's true.
No, but anyway, so GPU mining got me into it.
Sure.
That was my entry point, let's say. And then after that, you know, yeah, that was my entry right there. To answer your question, yeah, that was my entry, and then of course I went into A6.
If you like what you're seeing, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to us for more great content. Obviously, there's money to be made here from the mining side of things, you know, supporting the chain, supporting the blockchain, and the whole purpose of what we believe in cryptocurrency for.
Yeah.
But you also then took that leap to go and start to make partnerships and connections and selling equipment too.
Yeah. To be honest with you, Scott, I didn't get into it because of blockchain or any of that. I got into it for the money. I'll be super honest. I was like passive income. I was at that stage in my life where I'm like, I still kind of am, but I kind of changed my perspective now to where like I don't really I'm not really chasing the money anymore. I think I started the business chasing money. I'll be honest, but I changed my perspective now so much that I think I not that I think I value more the relationships that I've built with the people in the industry, with the people who I've met, with you, with that. You know, I know I'm right in front of you right now, but we're streaming. But genuinely, I changed my perspective to that of being like wow, if you really start caring about, you know, people, and you really start, you know, doing something that's valuable for those people, and you know it built a whole entire community. It's more than just money. You
Sure.
know, money is there and it's great, but at the same time, I think that if you, for example, right now, I think we got a project going on with Endless. You know, we have a developing team. We have systems set up now so that it means more to me than money. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I'm trying to focus on that more than anything.
You're
Really.
trying to run a business.
Yeah.
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 And you say relationships. Obviously, everybody can see you. You're sitting here in the suit that had the signature look.
The signature look.
We'll clip in note to the editor. We'll clip from you from Mining Disrupt. This is the look here. But the first time I met you, you showed up to deliver a piece of gear in a full suit, and I'm probably in a t-shirt and shorts, and
remember.
you know. But this is you know the impression you want to make on a customer, and I think that's what's different. And you know, we could circle back to a little bit of the crypto stuff because obviously this isn't a crypto podcast, so
Yeah.
we might have to. I don't want to say dumb it down, but we might have to dumb it down a little bit for some of the people out there who don't dive to our level of nerdness when it comes to crypto. But you know, along that idea of customer service, like, you know, you're a younger guy and your generation of people is probably much more comfortable behind a camera, behind a text screen. I mean, sorry, behind a computer, behind a text screen. But
Yeah.
yet you understand the importance of face-to-face relationships.
Yeah, I've always been that way. I think I've always been, I've always liked the idea of of relationships with people. I've always been very, what do you call it, outgoing, extroverted. I've always been, I don't want to say good with talking with people because you know it's I'm not perfect, but I've always liked that. I've always liked that. I always valued that, and I think I take that from my family. My mom, my dad, my grandma, my grandpa, my aunt, my uncle. They've always taught me that, you know, it's like we're eating dinner together. You know what I mean? We're hanging out with friends, we're hanging out with friends. You know, we're taking when you hang out with somebody, you turn your phone off, put it in mute for a second, just listen to them. Pay attention to what they're saying. Value the time that we're having. Like even just this right now, it's just you and I right here.
Yeah.
There's nobody else.
There's no distractions.
Yes.
There's no equipment running in the background. It's we're not used to that, and that's actually I mean that's the goal of what the people that I want to talk to on this program is people who are doing things differently, right? And you have made the case for that in-person service, that level of customer service that is so lacking in what we do these days.
Yeah, I do agree with you, Scott. And unfortunately, in this industry, they took advantage of it, and they started they started scamming people. They started realizing that well we can hide ourselves behind the screen, and we can pretend to be somebody who maybe we're not, and we can scam people. And we've seen so many people get scammed. My brother got scammed out of $500 because somebody told him, "Hey, just send me the money here," and he sent them the money. If my brother's watching this, you were pretty dumb for doing that.
I mean, you know my story. I mean,
if
my wife is watching,
let me take that back.
She still hates me because I lost 10 times that amount of money just because I got scammed out of something that you trust. You think you trust people, you think you know people, but we're dealing with a currency model that makes it easy. There is not as many of those protections as what we're used to.
I just think that regulations on cryptocurrency, it's just not there yet. There's no such regulation that consumers can take advantage of the safeties of those regulations, because if you have a cold wallet, you know what I mean? You have your crypto stored in a way that if you lose those keys, it's what do you do?
So to break it down now for everybody.
True,
No.
True.
What he's talking about is, so there's two different, well, there's many different ways to store your cryptocurrency, but the two most common ways is you can have an app on your phone that's run through an exchange. You've probably heard a lot of them. There's crypto.com, there's, Binance, there's all these things, Robinhood, but, everybody out there's probably heard of FTX, which had all their saga behind it. These are all places where, just like, your online bank account, everything's living in there. It's constantly accessible, and it's open to a little bit more of threat. And as people have found out, it's not always safe, right?
You go underwater.
These companies go under, and your money goes with it. Whereas a cold wallet is a storage device. Sometimes they look like a little USB stick, something like that. It is physically a device that you move the digital currency onto that is off the grid, right? So you have to access it from a third-party device. You have a series of keys that are with it. And what Agustin was saying is if you lose that information, you lose access to what's in there. We had this discussion in my family when I started getting into this, that, it's like, as a family, we, have the information to the bank accounts. We have this. It's like, well, if something were to happen to me, how does my wife get access to what I have in crypto assets there? Like, where do I put that information that she'll be able to understand how to access that? Funds. So that's one of those things that I think is gonna, this industry will take off more once it can become more accessible for people. Right? Like, if the same way that I could send you a Venmo right now, that would be, if it was that easy, and of course it is for us, it would be that easy for me to send you some Bitcoin right now because we're in the industry. But if the guy walking in, with my pizza, that's an interesting analogy with the pizza and Bitcoin. But if the guy walking in, I was like, here, I'm just going to pay you like this, and I could tap and just give it to him. Like, once we get there, sky's the limit.
How many Bitcoins did he pay for that pizza?
It was what, like 10? Oh, right. This was your trivia. 10,000 Bitcoin?
Yeah.
That's worth 30 million, $300 million now. If we're at 30 grand, I don't know. I don't do
how much we're at
math.
Right now. I think we're at 34 today.
34. Yeah. So you gotta add 4 zeros after that. I'm not gonna. Well, we'll just put it on the screen. But that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money that a guy wasted.
34 billion, right?
It better be a really good pizza.
Yeah.
One of the things that I want to talk, we teed this up when I started because I was
Yes.
saying local companies. So one of the things I think people, especially in the United States, don't understand is, so I go to buy something from you, I
Yeah.
see a price. By the way, the best prices in the market.
Thank you.
We've always said that Endless does
Thank you.
have the best prices, and that's
We try.
that's not I'm not sponsored by EndlessMining. It's just facts.
I did pay him a little bit.
Yeah, but you look at that, and then you get somebody who goes, well, I can go on to Bitmain's website, right? I can go on to these companies' websites, and the price, it's lower. People don't realize the cost that it takes to get equipment into the United States. And I think that, if more people understood the value of working with a local landed partner, meaning the gear is here in your country versus having to bring it in from overseas, it would be that much easier.
Sometimes people don't understand what the logistics are. And if you deal with us, we basically take care of that for you. We basically know that from start to finish, from getting that machine from China to here to the US, we know from start to finish every single process, and we've already done it multiple times, hundreds of times, possibly thousands of times. So we already got that process very much nailed down, and of course we charge a fee for this. But it's really a one-stop solution for anybody looking for this. And the nice thing about it is that the price that you see on our website is the price that you pay. There's no extra fees that you should be paying in the U.S. If you're outside the U.S., that's different. There's different tariffs in other countries. But inside the U.S., we made it so that if you're inside the U.S. and you order a miner, the price that you see online, that's the all-in price. There's no other. There shouldn't be any other fees that you should be paying when you're buying a miner with us. And that's what we like to do, is make it simple for people. We don't want you to have to go out there and send cryptocurrencies to. You could do it, of course, but we don't want the people to risk sending cryptocurrency overseas or a wire transfer overseas where you don't know if you're going to get that money back or not. Here in the U.S., we're suable. You can sue me if I screw you over. We're actually suable.
You're held accountable. Sure.
Yeah. But if you go to somebody outside the U.S., I don't know how you can take somebody in the Supreme Court of China.
Sure.
So we're taking that risk, and you see our prices. We're still very competitive in the industry. We're not greedy with our margins. We try to keep it low. We try to keep it. We try to keep that an actual business for people to actually buy miners still from a U.S. based company. But yeah.
So tell me a bit about what you can, obviously, about you forming those relationships overseas. Like, what is that process like in terms of getting into that market? If somebody's like, hey, I'm interested in that, like, how would you even get going?
You gotta have a good contact.
Yeah.
You gotta have somebody who you can trust. Once you have that person who you can trust, well, then you can start opening up to new relationships over in that market. But the first step is finding that one piece of contact that you can trust, somebody who you meet, somebody who's willing to. Personally, my process is more like, I don't have this process automized 100%, but I really like to get to know the person who I'm dealing with. So, for example, Charlie Lin. I had a 5-hour talk with Charlie Lin yesterday, and that's why I'm a little late today. So I'm sorry about that, Scott. But I went to sleep at like 4:30 a.m. because I was speaking with Charlie Lin, and Charlie Lin is one of the biggest ASIC suppliers that there is from China, and we haven't done business yet, but I've kept in touch with him for almost 2 years now, and we keep going back and forth. Okay. And he is a great point of contact, for example. And I highly suggest that anybody out there listening, really, Charlie Lin he's a great guy.
And he's not directly with one of the manufacturers.
He's not directly with one of the manufacturers.
He's a third party.
But here's the thing about Charlie. He speaks English perfectly fine. He speaks Mandarin, and he's in Shenzhen in China. So he has those connections in there. He knows the industry, and he knows the suppliers of the ASICs.
Yeah.
So he is a great example, a great public example that I can share. He wasn't my first. I'll be honest. He's not the first person who I bought miners from. Well, I haven't bought from him. Sorry. So he's not the person who I bought miners from the first time. But he's a great example of the kind of contact that you want to have. You want to build a relationship with these people, is what you want to do if you want to get into, for example, doing what I do. You know, but yeah, the answer is building those relationships, Scott. Really, just like you and I, just like you and your clients, just like me and my clients.
Sure.
It's sitting down with them. Hey, where are you from? What's your favorite food? Getting to know them. Are they good? Are they reliable? Do they come on time?
Yeah,
Are
it's
they
true.
are they good people? Do they care about you? You know, if a month goes by and you don't talk to them, do they send you, hey, what's up? How you doing? How you been? I haven't talked to you in a long time. Are they interested in building that relationship with you, so that you see that they're not gonna screw you over? You know, because I've been screwed over before, and it kind of
Sure.
sucks.
Yeah.
It really does suck because you try to build this relationship with some people, and a couple months go by, and you start getting some tips. You start getting some, like, oh wait, what happened? This person told me they were going to do something this day and they didn't do it, or they told me they were going to send me an invoice but they didn't send me an invoice, or they changed the amount on the invoice. What happened here? You know what I mean?
Yep.
So you start picking up on these things, and the people who do that, you try to stay away from. Anybody who you realize, and you pick on things that are not business-like, you know, you kind of step away. And yesterday we were talking about this actually with Charlie a little bit, and it's all about really, we're all human at the end, no matter where you're from. Yeah, there's a bunch of right now. It's a pretty interesting and sad time in history where there's a lot of things going on in the world, a lot of wars going on right now, and there's a lot of side picking going on. And if you look at it, at the end of the day, we're all human. We all like the same things. We all like food. We all like hanging out. We all like being together. You know, even if you're from China or from the U.S., we're still kind of alike. You know,
Sure.
everybody is really. We're all pretty similar. We all like having iced tea. You know,
Yeah.
we all,
See.
we all like sitting down and getting to know each other. There's no. Yes, there's differences. Don't get me wrong. There's cultural differences there, but you wanna get to know people who are, you know, who are understanding of what I'm talking about, who
Sure.
are understanding of just being able to sit down and getting to know them and understanding that. Well, sorry about that. That was
Oh,
my that was
thought it
my
was
alarm.
thought it was me.
No,
Oh,
no, no, no. I
you
gotta
gotta
wake
go.
up. Wake up. Wake up. Sorry about that. I,
Oh,
I
you're good.
apologize. But yeah,
We'll edit.
no, don't worry. Keep it in. Keep it rolling. Keep it easy for your editor.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, nothing is perfect.
So, um, you look at that and you go, obviously, it's a global community that we're part of.
And I know that.
One of the things that I've always believed, kind of at my core and at the core values of my company is we tend to want to work with people who believe in the same kind of philosophies
Yeah.
that we do, right? It's, if I'm out there looking for, approached by somebody to work with in the marketing field, we want to make sure that we're going to be able to echo
Yeah.
their values.
Yeah.
And that's important. We've gotten rid of clients before because we just said, you know what, we just don't share the same
It doesn't.
value
Yeah.
structure.
And I've done that too.
And I think it's important.
Yeah.
I think, you want to work with people who share your values. You want to work with people who you think is going to further what you're doing. And I think what's the point if we're just, if we're not enjoying, our time and believing in what we do.
Yeah.
Back to
Good
that
point.
that idea of that global community, though. I've seen you putting yourself out there that much more. You're getting online.
Yeah.
You're trying to build the recognition. Talk to me a little bit about that and how that helps in terms of, it's a very big and growing community that we're involved with in terms of the crypto industry and a lot of voices online. How do you kind of get involved with that? and become part of that.
What do you mean? What do you mean get involved?
Well, I mean, you've started going to shows.
Okay.
You attended
Okay.
Mining Disrupt earlier in the year. EndlessMining went down. CYM and Endless were both media partners for the event. You went down and represented us as well. But between getting involved online and live streams, it's like, talk to me more about like kind of the value of, you could just be out there selling gear. You've got a great website. People know how to find you. But like now you're getting more involved on the other side too.
That's the community part that we were talking about earlier. That's me trying to, that's outreach right there. That's me saying, hey, let me get to know the people who are in this industry and try to build those relationships, try to actually do that. And this is a big misconception that there is out there, Scott. Some people, when they say networking, they just think of just chit-chatting, just talking, just superficial level networking of just getting to talk to them a little bit every so often.
Sure.
I disagree with that. I think networking is more than that. I think networking is more valuable if you choose your relationships wisely and you develop a strong relationship with those people. Sometimes people think networking is the amount of contacts you have on your phone. I think it's more about the quality of contacts that you have, the quality of people who you surround yourself with. I'm not a dummy. I'm not hanging out with you for no reason. You know what I mean? I don't call you for because I want to build that relationship.
Sure,
I want to keep you in touch. I want to I see you and I look up to you and I'm like, this guy has a business. He's trying to work. The first time we talked, Scott, you were kind of like, I don't know, business is a little slow and this, and you were kind of complaining a little bit. Okay,
Yeah,
I don't want to throw trash at you.
Never complain.
Okay, but you weren't complaining. Okay, let's just say you weren't complaining, but you were kind of like, your business is slow. Your business is slow, and then you told me you got busy because you saw me. You were like, this guy is running. This guy's going all in.
He's hustling, yeah.
Let me try maybe and do something similar. I don't know if that's what happened exactly, but you got busy, man.
Sure.
You got busy. You started working. You hired an intern.
Yeah. Shout out to Drew the intern.
There we go, Drew the intern. You got busy. You were like, you know what? Let's go. Let's make it work. Let's make some money and let's go out there. Let's get clients, and that's what I look for in the people who I surround myself with. People who want to work. People who don't make excuses. People who just get the work done, and I think that's what's about. My type of networking is like that. If I see that you work, if I see that you're somebody who has those values, those core values of like customer service, for example, and those values of just getting up in the morning, no matter if you're tired or not, and getting that work done, I'm probably going to want to keep in touch with you.
Sure.
I'm probably going to want to keep that relationship going.
So what's next for you? What do you see? Give me that. We're almost at the end of the year now. So what's that 2024 roadmap look like for you? I mean, in our world of crypto, we've got the Bitcoin halving. So for those who are not our crypto nerds, that means that every time that a Bitcoin is mined, we get half the amount of Bitcoin now. So it cuts the supply, makes it more desirable, and the goal there is that it raises the price. But in terms of your business, kind of what are the goals? What are you looking to do?
Well, I'm trying to set it up so that I want to systemize it. Okay, I want the business to be able to run by itself. I want the business so that the day of tomorrow, if I get hit by a truck, you've heard this before.
Sure.
I want it to be able to keep running and keep afloat, keep everybody hired, keep everybody going, and keep it going up. I wanted to be able to do those growths. I don't have a specific number. I definitely want a 10x. Who doesn't?
Sure, of course.
I have some goals. Yes. They're number goals. I don't think I want to share them, to be honest.
But your company is multi-channel, right? You've got sales coming through Amazon, you've got sales on eBay, you've got sales direct on your website.
Yep.
So I mean, that's a lot of data to come in from different sources that you've got to pull together.
Yep.
And anybody out there that runs a business that does this kind of e-commerce, that's not that easy for a small business. You're not one, because you've got some people that work with you now, work for you now. But that's data coming in from multiple sources that has to be aggregated and make
Yeah.
sure you're staying on top of it.
Yeah.
And with a lot of these companies, it's also money that's not flowing in the door right away. eBay holds funds now, Amazon holds funds now.
Yeah.
So it's a challenge for all of us to do what we do, and kind of
Yeah.
manage that cash flow side of things too.
Yeah. Well, cash flow, that's something my accountant Andres, Andres Pitini, he's a great guy. He's actually my cousin as well. But I decided to hire him because we started talking about the business and he was getting involved in it, and I was like, "Hey, do you want to give it a shot? Do you want to see if we can work together?" And he pretty much I don't think I'm making an understanding, but saying I think he saved EndlessMining because we had a lot of mismanagement of my end, and that was my fault. With the accounting side of things, because I didn't have an accountant full time, and
Sure.
I didn't have somebody who was taking care of our numbers. And he started realizing, well, we have some bleeding going on this way, and he patched it up. And he was like, "Hey, all of these clients that were bleeding us, well, come back here and let's get on track." And he got us on track. He got us back, and yeah, I think it ties back into those goals that I have, and those goals are systemizing all of that.
Yeah.
I don't want any more of that bleeding to ever happen again. I want that to be a system, an actual procedure, an actual policy in my company that helps us set a track that we can keep going no matter what. It's I think that's what's more important than anything. No matter what number you're beating. And I think that really, you see, that's what I'm saying.
Well, but it also allows you to focus on the growth,
Mm.
right? If you're sitting there in your business
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
that day to day, you can't focus on the business with that larger growth.
Yeah.
That's one of the big things that coaches over the year I've heard nonstop is if you can't get up and look down and work with the bigger picture, then you're never going to grow.
Yeah, and I took that from a lot of business people, from some books that I read. The HP Way is a great book. I took that from Warren Buffett. I took that from Kevin O'Leary. I took that from a lot of mentors and people who I've seen, is that if you want your business to succeed, you don't have to. Of course, you can't run the day to day. You can't. If you want the business to give you fruits, give you proper growth, you have to set yourself aside and run it from the outside so that those systems aren't helping it completely. You know what I mean? So that I think you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And
100%. But and you got to trust your team. CYM, we have a great team of people.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing I can do as the boss is trust them.
Mm-hmm.
Right, is have faith in them to do what it is that they do,
Yeah.
and be accountable to my team, right, and make sure that I'm doing and putting our best foot forward, and but that's what allows us to grow, is me relying on my team and trusting that they can get the work done.
Yeah, the trust is the big one. We've been we had a couple hiccups with one employee who my voice, my God,
You need some more tea.
I might need some more tea. We had a couple hiccups with one employee. We had one hiccup with one employee, and he was I think here in the US they call it disgruntled.
Okay,
Disgruntled employee whenever they leave angry.
Oh yeah, sure.
And the guy he got pretty mad at us, making a bunch of noises. I hope this is not bad
it's
for
okay.
for the editing.
We'll figure it out.
Don't even worry. Just put it all in. Just keep
okay.
it all in.
We got great editors.
He got mad. I realized that he was basically taking company time and he wasn't happy. Okay, he was a guy from Chicago. Hopefully he's not listening to this, and if you are, hope everything is good with you. But it was a bad idea. What you did was pretty bad.
Sure.
He basically got mad at us. He didn't like why we fired him, and he basically grabbed our entire contact list, okay, which he shouldn't have done. And he called all of our clients, and he told them all that there was a data breach. And I know.
Sure.
And basically just told everybody that there was a data breach and that their information was unsafe. Out of the maybe 120 clients, he only got one client to cancel their credit card. Fortunately, every other client didn't believe him. Even the guy who canceled the credit card just called me right away, and he's like, "Yeah, I just got a guy told me this. Is everything okay? I hope everything is well." Nobody called me shouting.
Wow.
Nobody called me, sent me emails. Nobody told me to talk to their lawyers. Nothing like that. Nothing, Scott. The first thing I did was send a mass message to everybody on my client list, on my Discord, on my Telegram, and I said, "Hey, we just fired an employee. He's mad. He called you guys. He spread some lies. But we took the right action. We took the action right away.
Sure.
And we were sorry. I started going on the weeds about this. But
it's something that all of us
trust.
that are small businesses face. I mean, it's you know
Yeah.
making how do you know from a resume and a cover letter that you're hiring the right kind of people? That's tough.
You know
It's-
what I started doing now is I started anytime that I want to hire somebody now. And I love this process, God. I'm gonna share it with the world.
Yeah,
because
here it is.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Whenever you hire them, don't rush the process. Take your time. What I like to do personally is, of course, you're gonna read their resume. You're gonna do a background check on them. You're gonna check everything that they have: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everything, all their social media. You check it all. You do a thorough background check so that you know what kind of person they are to the world. LinkedIn, everything, all of those. You're gonna check all of the references. So you check every single reference that they give you. You call them up. Hey, can I speak with the owner of the company? Perfect. Can you tell me how Pepito was doing with you? Would you hire them again? Did they do good work? If you were to hire them again, how would you feel about that? You get to know their past, because that's the best. That's really the only thing that you can trust more than what they're showing you, because they can lie to you. Okay, at the present they can lie to you. So to prevent the lying in the present, what I like to do now is I'll interview them 3 to 5 times. Okay, so my interview process went from one interview, which was what I was doing before, to around 3 to 5 interviews. First interview is with me. Okay, getting to know them. Tell me about you. I see how they act. I see, even though it's a lot of times through a camera.
Sure.
In person, you can tell a lot better. And this is something that I'm not a big fan of that we got from COVID. It's all of these meetings online and everything. Sure, they help because if you're on the other side of the world, but if you're right in front of me, it's kind of hard to realize if I see your movements, if I see
of course.
you're moving your feet, you're moving your arms, if I see you're nervous, okay, maybe I give you the benefit of the doubt. You're nervous because I'm interviewing you, but let's see how it goes. Let's see how I feel. Second interview, I bring whoever is going to be on the team. Okay, so if they're going to be on the developing team, well, I bring my 2 developers, Gabriel and Santiago, great developers. I bring them over and I tell them, interview them. Okay, you interview who's going to be on your team.
Yeah.
Okay, at the end of the interview, I ask them, is it a thumbs up or a thumbs down? If one of them says no, he's out. We're not going to hire that person. And we do it. We already did it. We already did it twice.
Sure.
Okay. Sure. The third interview is with other people on the team, other people who he's going to be working with. Okay. And I'm always present in that interview.
So, so that's interview 3 is with the rest of the members of the team.
The rest of the members who they're going to be working with on the team. And of course, every single time, I also have a vote. If I decide that I notice that they were lying, and if I catch a lie, you're fucking done. Yeah. If I catch you lying, you're done. There's no more second chances or nothing. I've noticed that if you don't trust those measurements, you'll get screwed over. And I got screwed over. I was like, let me give them the benefit of the doubt. Let me just say, hey, look, I caught him on a small lie. I caught him that he said something about his childhood differently. I caught that. And I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I was like, you know what? He might have gotten it wrong. He said 2019. Now he said 2020. Okay, I gave it to him. But right now, no. If I catch you lying, if I catch you making mistakes, if I catch you slacking, changing stories around, the interview's done. But anyways, I'm always on those interviews, and I'm always noticing differences from the first one to the last one. Third interviews with the rest of the team. Okay, anybody else who I want to have. Okay. And the fourth and last interview is basically, let's say fourth and last, fifth and last, okay, depending on how many people there's just going to be involved in the team, okay? Sometimes it's, like, for example, our customer service representatives. We have Daniel Monin in the morning right now, and we have Zain Ahmad in the afternoon. So in the daytime and in the nighttime. Okay, so graveyard shift is going to be Zain, and in the daytime is Danielle. So I might have two different separate interviews with them because the times sometimes don't overlap so well.
Sure.
And it also helps because it helps me realize the changes between each interview.
Yeah.
And you will notice perfectly fine how on each interview their energy levels drop down every single time. Every single time you see their energy levels drop down. Sometimes it's a little bit, sometimes it's a lot. But you're noticing those things and you're checking how's the person's energy on the next interview. You're checking. First interview was amazing. Hey, how's it going? This. I'm so ready to work and this and that and this. Like, I'm willing to climb a tree for you. Like I'm willing to climb a mountain for you. Next interview is, I'm ready for this. Yes, let's go. I'm ready to climb that. Now I might climb a bicycle for you this time. Third interview, yes, I'm ready for this. Okay, like what's taking so long? And maybe they start like, okay, like come on, like when are you gonna hire me? So I'm noticing that. Tells me patience about the person.
Sure.
Tells me, are they patient enough? Sure, they can be needing work. I think, yeah, sure, I get that. People need money, but at the same time, we need somebody who's not gonna bring their personal life into the business. We don't need no. Everybody has issues. Everybody, we're all human. We all make mistakes. We've all made mistakes. We've all fucked up. Okay, we've all been in a struggle. A lot of us have been in a struggle of money. I've been in a struggle of money. I've always been lucky. I'll be saying I'm very grateful. I've always had a roof over my head. I've always been taken care of by my parents. But I've had a struggle with money in my business, for example. Where I think, okay, I don't think we're gonna make it past this month.
Yeah.
I can't go to fucking sleep. I can't go to. I'm going to bed at 3 a.m. and I'm thinking, fuck. I like if I don't send this email today, well, I'm not gonna get it done. I'm also going to school at the same time. So, anyways, what I'm saying is, I try not to bring that personal life into the business. Sometimes it slips out, unfortunately. But if I see, somebody who I'm trying to hire do that, and they bring that over to the interviews, come on.
Right.
Like what are you gonna do afterwards?
Sure.
This guy who we fired from Chicago, he ended up, and this is one thing that it's probably gonna be a policy that I'm gonna make in my company is, we were in the middle of a meeting and somebody knocked on the door, a junkie knocked on his door, and he went on shouting, cursing, shouting, and in the middle of the interview, did not mute his microphone, did not mute his camera. He just started shouting and cursing in front of everybody on the team.
Wow.
The only thing I could do was laugh. It was kind of funny, I'm not gonna lie. But the only thing I could do is laugh. What do I do? At the time, I didn't think I could mute him and I could block him. I was like kind of out of words for it. You know what I mean? So my reaction was kind of like to laugh out of it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, let's make the best out of this situation and let's just laugh about it. No, Scott, I would have fired him there. I would have told him, hey, look, that's not what we're rocking here at Endless. You're out. I should have told him, hey, look, that's not what we do here.
Yeah.
It was the day after we hired him.
Wow.
Yeah, incredible.
There you go.
Incredible. But yeah, that's what I do, Scott. That's what I do right now with my hiring process. I do it more thoroughly. I take my time with it. I'm patient with every single action that I'm taking. I am more patient with it. If I can make it last as long as possible, if I can make the process last as more as possible and marinate on that thinking of, is this a good candidate or not, I will do that. And I'll tell the same thing to my teammates, to everybody who's doing their interviews. I'll tell them, take your time and really give me an honest answer. If you want to work with this person for the next 5 to 10 years,
Yeah.
and if you do, well, great, let's do it. Let's rock and roll. Let's bring it on, let's onboard them onto the team. But if not, just give me the honest answer and I will trust you. That's what I tell everybody on the team. If you're already on the team, you're already in. I trust you already. Okay? So you give me a yes or no and we'll go with that. And it only takes one person to say no.
Sure.
And I've done this already. But yeah, that's my process, Carl. That's basically what I'm doing right now with Endless differently.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
Folks, Agustin Cortes, EndlessMining. Thank you for pushing me to get this off the ground and running. This will be the first of many conversations you and I will have. Thank you, everybody, for hopefully joining us today. Make sure you like what we're doing here. Subscribe to the channel. Check out EndlessMining on YouTube. Subscribe to him as well. They can find you where online.
EndlessMining.com.
EndlessMining.com. And we'll have to go in. That's what we're going to have to do, a follow-up video where we talk about cryptocurrency for dummies. Is what we'll do like a series of like crypto for people who don't understand crypto. Is that we can do it that way and we can break it down because you know, even as basic as we scratch the surface today, if you don't understand it, it's a whole world, and we got to get more people understanding, because and then we get those gains.
Yes, sir.
Start making
to the moon.
Start making those coins to the moon. Exactly. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one.